Welcome back to AsArt. My name is Nick, and I have Britt here with me. On Instagram, she's known as cha.cha.cherry. She's an awesome photographer. Go check her out. But we are here to discuss and deep dive of His Dark Materials Season 3. We're going to be going through your guys' comments. We're going to be answering questions. We're going to be just talking about the show here, but let's just jump right into it. Britt's here to help read the comments and stuff and answer some questions. Britt is not a reader of the books and stuff. She just really enjoys the show and doesn't enjoy some things. Like everyone has opinions on everything, and just like me, I have my opinions too, but we're here to talk and have fun just discussing this awesome world. I did do a full episode review if you want to go check it out right here. We also did 1 and 2. We have breakdowns of episode 1 and 2. And we also have deep dives on the Land of the Dead, Harpies, stuff to come up in the next 2 episodes, deep dives on how Dæmons work. It's all there on our channel. But now we're going to get into the comments.
From Lisa Harbors, I don't think Balthamos and Baruch are in human form just for the VFX part. I think it's to make it easier to show the angles, emotions, understanding emotions from voice that is still possible and much harder when you have just a face. And it can get lost with other translations and other voice acting.
It could. Yeah. And that's definitely one reason to go that route, right? Like you could have gone the route that they're invisible and you wouldn't have to pay an actor or anything. It would just be like a voiceover, but then the actor has to act without a person there. And yes, you have to do more with the voice and stuff. I honestly just think it might have been easier for everyone on set to have a physical angel there. I mean, for you, Brett, I know you're not like a book reader and stuff. Did it bug you physically seeing angels, or no? Were you okay with it?
I think they needed to do that just so that you could have a connection to a character. You can become connected when you can see them. I think reading it, you could see more in your head of what an angel is and the idea that it's just a spirit per se.
Yeah.
But I think it was done kind of cool. They were very angelic.
Yeah, especially when they go to their angel form, which I think what most people are thinking of, like that transparent dust form, is what they should be the whole time. So, but I mean, obviously that would have been expensive.
That makes them seem more alien-ish, like that. Oh, what was that alien movie when they do the writing on the window and they're just like shapes?
Oh no, not ringing
a
bell.
Redhead girl. Oh, never mind. Remember the movie?
If you guys remember, please comment down below.
Never mind. No, don't. Okay.
Next comment.
All right. Sorry. All right, Karen. It's been a really long time since I've read the trilogy, so I only knew about the Once Upon a Time in the North novella. I just reread the first 6 Dune books, so I wasn't looking to take on another fantasy series right away. Long way around of saying, I appreciate this video. I really like Ruth Wilson and James McAvoy so much in the TV version. I totally agree.
Yeah, they're killing it, and it's so good too. First of all, thank you for liking our reviews. We do our best here, but they really do kill it on screen. Anytime Mrs. Coulter's on screen or Lord Asriel, they always kill it, no matter who they're acting with. And you can definitely, I mean, every scene, like when it was her and Will just like loses connection with the knife, that was great. And then in the new episodes, when they're talking with each other by the, by the flying device, and then like torturing the angel, every scene she's been in, even since season 1, has been so great. It's been so much fun.
Perfect.
Oh
well,
no!
She's just the way she conveys emotions is just so intense. Yeah, she's my favorite, by the way.
And the Golden Monkey does a great job too. The animators of the Golden Monkey, such a good job. I can't wait to hear the monkey speak. Spoilers from the book. We're finally going to hear the monkey. Yes, the monkey knows how to speak, but because of her tortured soul and how she treats him, he's never allowed to get a word out, kind of thing. So it's really interesting, and it's going to be so much fun. I don't know if they're going to have that moment, but let's get into it. Next comment.
I hope they do. I wonder who they're going to choose for the voice, if that was
Vin
going
Diesel.
to happen.
I am
I'm
Groot.
so sure. Okay, Chris Wiz. I've got a question. I've been wondering, does anyone know why Mrs. Coulter's Dæmon doesn't speak?
No.
And why some can't? Is it just because she separated herself for so much? Seems like all the other Dæmons speak, but the golden monkey. Perfect timing. That was not planned.
Yeah, you know what's that's basically what I just explained. But yeah, it has to do with the way she treats her like remember in season 2, she was able to separate from the golden monkey. Like she left him in the house, remember? And she went out on the town because she was in Will's world, which is our world basically, where we don't have little animals following us around, little Pokemon following us around. So you could just tell the separation. She was able to withstand the pain and stuff. So there's definitely, and you can tell with the person and their demon, their relationship and how their soul is too, almost. You know what I mean? She's very closed off, and even like the moments we're getting in these newest episodes where Lord Asriel's like, I can't believe Lyra even got to you. You know what I mean? Like. You actually care about this girl. You know, it's like this whole thing where we're seeing her change, which is really cool process. She's doing such a great job.
Yeah. But Asriel, like his what's his snow leopard's name?
I do not remember her name.
That's who I dressed up as. But but she's definitely opinionated.
Oh yeah. It's always good too, because it's like we did a whole deep dive with Kyle on like how it works with demons, and how there's even one there's one guy who has a dolphin as a demon, and he's literally stuck on a boat for life because his demon has to be in the water. So there's a lot of cool stuff. Check out that video, deep dive on stuff like that.
That's wild. That sounds like also like a name. Nico BG. I'm quite worried about what they're going to do with Mulefa.
The mulefa.
Mulefa, which is the animal.
Yes, the trunk animal.
The trunk animal. I hope they make them justice, unlike they do to the Gallivespians.
The Gallivespians. And
Gallivespians.
The Gallivespians are we see them as like the fairy people. They have like little angels and stuff. By the way, we have a really cool shirt design based on the Gallivespians with the dragonflies, the way they should be in the books, which we're not getting them. And they're cut. Their portion of the films or the show has really been cut down from the books. But Kyle's favorite characters, the Gallivespians, have really been cut out, but it's okay. It's understandable for the story. But yes, the mulefa, I was a little worried because in the books, the mulefa ride on seed pods. They're basically like motorcycle elephants. They have like they have wheels for legs, and they have a diamond shaped body, and they like ride around as like a herd and stuff. And they're one of the craziest designed creatures just from the descriptions in the book and stuff. So as it is, you're already worried about like, how is this going to work? You know what I mean? Like this is a crazy thing, but I think they're trying to do a good compromise. We'll see. They talk in the book, so I'm curious if they're going to talk in the show, and we'll see how it goes. I can't say anything until we see it, but I'm a little worried, but I understand with budgets and stuff like that.
Yeah, didn't they just drop sold Westworld?
Yeah, they dropped Westworld and the Nevers. Yeah.
Oh. Sorry. Wait 1 second. Laura Burworks. I think that's how you say it. Yeah. Does he leave him as abruptly as he does in the show? That angel to Will was Balthamos. Like, I gotta go.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, Balthamos is like he's a coward basically. And in the books, when they're trying to get away from Mrs. Coulter, and they're leaving, and a guy pulls a gun on them, right? Like the soldiers pull a gun on them. In the books, Balthamos, he kind of sacrifices himself, but then he just distracts the guys, and they're able to kill the guards. But then in fear, he flies off, and we do not see him again.
Can a gun even kill an angel?
Yeah. What's up?
Would a gun kill an angel?
Oh yeah. So angels are super fragile compared to humans. They're so much easier to kill, and we're so much stronger than them because we have a physical form. They have other abilities. Yeah, so they have other abilities, like obviously they can fly and stuff like that. But when it comes to like, they're almost jealous of humans in their physical form.
You know? I didn't know that. You would think that they'd be more like immortal in a sense.
Well, they're basically just dust and matter. And that's this whole idea, I think, with the story in general, His Dark Materials, is the illusion of the authority is basically God in this book, and like the illusion of power they have, like the church and stuff like that. So it's like tearing it down, how it's all like in our heads, the power that we give them, kind of thing. So it goes, I think, deeper than that. But yes, he does take off, and I was so pissed when he came back in the last 2 episodes to meet Lyra. That's not supposed to happen. The redemption arc.
I thought that was meaningless. Like you came to say, like, I was watching you the whole time.
Exactly, it was meaningless. Yeah. Oh god.
Now I'm gonna go.
Yeah. Anyways, before I keep going off on that, next question.
The actor's fine though. I don't mind the actor.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Alyssa Daniels. Sorry. The main thing that bothers me about the boat scene is it that they show only that Lyra feels the pain of the separation between her and Pan? Will also has a daemon inside of him, so they should have shown him suffering from his separation, even though he didn't know his own daemon. Yeah. That daemon should have appeared with Pan once they separated. Really bothered me, but I still love the series. Or I'm still loving the series.
Yeah.
Also, Mufala. Oh my gosh, I want to say Mufasa. Whenever I see it.
Mufasa.
No. Mulefa, the angel. Are they going to show their wheels?
No, see that we got a teaser in the for the mulefa wheels. We got a teaser in the next trailer of you see the paw going on the wheel. So we did get a teaser for that. So they probably are going to show that. But talking about that scene, yes, there's supposed to be 2 Gallivespians with them too on the boat, and everyone loses a part of their soul. And in the book, it's very dramatic because people realize that they're dying basically on this boat. And then Will realizes he separates with something. He doesn't know what it is, but he does separate with something. And he's like, and he felt it left on the shore with Pan. Mm-hmm. So it's very emotional.
Wouldn't Pan be pain too?
Pan? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't he be like
also
just
going
as
through
in pain?
Too. Yeah.
Not just like whimpering, like you said, Airbud.
Yeah, well, I just said Airbud because you leave like your animal on the shore, but yeah, so they're both like being ripped apart, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like a
so they could have made that scene a little bit more dramatic.
You know, it's tough though, right? Because like they're in the book, it's so dramatic because you know you hear inner thoughts and how much they're suffering, and it's more detailed where the actors have to portray this.
Make me want to read the book.
Oh yeah, I highly recommend the book for everyone. Go get it on Audible if you don't like reading. I mean, it's so much fun. It's such a good book, and the writing's really good too. But
Karen Naropa Baker, I think that's how you say that. I'm glad they dropped the part where
You lost it. It's all right.
All right, Karen Naropa Baker. No, yeah, it's been a really long time since I read the book. No, that was the wrong one.
No,
that's so it's her twice.
I'm glad they dropped the part.
Yeah, she had 2 comments. So sorry, Karen. I'm glad they dropped the part where Will's daemon and his death became visible. It was important part of the book, but it wouldn't have been translated well. I did not think it would be an even attempt to mulefa, and thought it looked pretty good compared to the angels. Will they bring in the wheel pods and evil swan storylines to that world? A lot of interest on these wheels.
Yeah. Well, because first let me answer the first question, which was the Will's demon and also his death. So in the book, it's really interesting. You can see everyone else's death, and also death to everyone's like an old man. Everyone they're kind of very similar, like outlined shapes where they're like in Princess Mononoke. I almost see them at the monkey spirits at night, where they're kind of just silhouettes with eyes. Like that's almost how I picture them in the book, kind of, but they have a little bit softer kind features. But literally, Lyra talks to someone else's demon, which teaches her how to talk to her own demon. So they ended up changing that in the books. It was, there was a lady where she's supposed to have an older man as her death. I'm sorry, her death. That's what I'm talking about. And yes, you see Will's death. Sorry, I know I say demon death. There's like all these different parts to everyone, right? And but that, and then like for the mulefa, yes. So in the mulefa, they're like in this world that's just like they're the intelligent beings in the world. These animals where they learn to communicate, and it's like really beautiful how they're like one with nature and how they do everything. And like the seed pods are such a part of their culture, where you get one as a child or whatever, and they teach you how to ride it because they're like kind of clumsy without it. But they have these crazy birds that attack them. That they get hunted by. And I'm curious if that's going to be in the next episode. I doubt it because of time, but that would be really cool to see. But there's so much more to cover, and there's only 8 episodes.
It sounds like so interesting.
No, it's a really cool world Mary Malone goes to, and that world has such a big part in the end of the story too. So like it's very important that we're there and we get to see the world and live in it, because some major things happen there at the end, which I'm not going to spoil for people. I think I'm going to spoil things because I don't know if they're even going to do that. But if not, read the books.
That's true. And it's, the holidays are coming up. So if you buy the book, get a t-shirt to go along for the stocking.
Yeah, AsArt.space. Get the Gallivespian with the dragonfly.
Okay. Mal Brooks. Well, that clip you chose was the clip in the writers chose because it was a shocking silver tongue can't outwit laws. You really see parallels with Ulysses and the Odyssey. Like he could outwit all the situations there are harpy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one thing that even when reading the book, she's able to, if you realize, even watching the show, she gets out of every situation she's ever been into. She's able to weasel her way out, or like a solution comes where she can escape and get out just fine. Like obviously there's probably some scars she carries with her from these events, like, you know, losing a friend, or, you know, like there's things that happen along the way. But this is like, he's like, no, Pan cannot come on, no matter how she tries to word it, or like, look at, see, he can come on the boat. He's just like, hey, it's a law. Like it's not a rule, it's a law, just like gravity. And that's so cool because that line's like straight from the book too. And
oh really?
Yeah, so that there was a lot of good lines from that boat scene, because a lot of that was taken straight from the book. And obviously the stronger parts in this show are really like really heavy book stuff, and that was just so good. It's just so good for Lyra. Like, and then like her having to realize like, well, if we separate I die. And he's like, why are you even doing this then? Like you want to go to the land of the dead, you have to die, you know what I mean? It's like, so it's like, you know, she thought she would be able to outwit everyone, just like she also lies to Urich, the polar bear, saying that it wants us to go there, you know what I mean? So remember, she's a liar.
Lyra's a liar. Like,
and
she's
remember that, because someone's gonna call her out on that in the land of the dead.
Rob. No, I was like, but yeah, that drives me crazy about her, that she's just always, I think weaseling's a really good word for her.
In the books though, they use it as like lying as a storytelling way. And you're not getting that in the show. Like her whole thing is like loving to tell stories in like a fantasy. So like her lies come from this exaggeration of storytelling. Like remember with the bear fight, she like overemphasizes everything, so the bear gets jealous. And so it's like, you know, using it to like a storytelling advantage, which plays out really nicely in the books. But since we don't have a lot of the
both of her parents are liars, and they talk about that too in the episode. Like, well, you're a liar. Well, you're a liar. It's like it's a family of liars.
Yes, there's a lot of dirt in that family for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Lyra is a good offspring interpretation of her parents. You know, just that stubbornness, that will for whatever she wants, like to step on things, hurt people, and they all kind of have their own goals that are like crossing over each other, but you can definitely see the threads of that family. Which is, I think they did a really good job with that. Germany, just Germany. But there's two. Okay. So why can't the Dæmon be so far? Why can't the Dæmon be so far away? Plain and simple. Why can't they separate?
Yeah, because it's like trying to separate from your soul. Most people can't handle the separation, so they die. And that we saw that in the second book when Lee Scorby saves Will's dad, and they're going up on the hot air balloon, and a guard is holding on to the rope, and he's like, let go, and his demon was a dog, and he was left on the ground, and he was like, and then he separated so far, he died. He just poofed and he died. His demon died. So like you can only go so far from your demon. But witches are the exception, because they go through certain trials and trainings to learn how to do the distance.
It's just, and then after he said, it just says beautiful explanation.
That was all Kyle.
Okay. Okay, no, I didn't mean to. Maxie. Is that Scar as your icon? I'm surrounded by idiots.
Be prepared.
I like Scar. Okay. Maxie, they made such a big deal out of mulefa and how they are so complicated to visualize and stuff. And now they are just slightly altered elephants. Yeah.
It's tough because it's an extreme. The whole world, like all the animals and people, are based off of a diamond skeleton shape, which doesn't even exist in our world. You know what I mean? So it's like almost like an alien world as it is. So you only could go so far where you kind of hit that separation point for people where it's like too extreme, where you have to have like some kind of ground in reality. And I mean, I think for artists and what we're getting, it's going to be like the best we're going to get. I mean, I don't know if we're going to get any better than what we got.
It's more conceptual.
Yeah.
Chris Wiz. As a non-book reader, I'm a little bummed out and worried about this series. I would have guessed that this show has at least seasons left. Did we not have seasons left? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, this is the last season.
What? Okay. I was was like, what? Okay, wait, I'm sorry. Only trying to find out the last season. Oh, there's it. Are 6 more episodes enough to finish the story? Well, we have maybe 5 hours of showtime. But dang, what a bummer. The show is great. Has some of the most imaginative storytelling and lifelike special effects with the animals.
Yeah.
I'm really going to miss the show. It has so many different groups of people for me that without a recapper, it will be a little hard to follow along, but I love it. I'm worried that they will rush into the finale, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. It happens a lot with a lot of these trilogies and shows too. I feel like and it just happens because like it happened with Harry Potter. The book's like this big and the movie's only like covering this much material. Like it happens. It happens all the time with book stuff, and that's why I think you gotta see it as a film adaptation or a show adaptation. But like this might be a good time to go read the books and dive into the world and really experience it. But they are doing a great job overall. HBO Max always does a good job, I feel like, but if this was Netflix, I don't know if it would be as high of a quality when it comes to writing, and the visual effects are very stunning. What they do with the animals and stuff. I mean, York looks incredible, the polar bear, and you just see him taking out a whole army when they're escaping. Like, yes, please, I need more York.
Yeah, he's cool. They did a really good job with
Lyra, silver tongue.
I'm trying to remember him. Oh my gosh, it's like in the original, like in the movie.
Oh, the movie? Yeah, with the that was with Nicole Kidman was Mrs. Coulter.
That's like that's all what anyone remembers is Nicole Kidman. Both with that blue eyes. In the book, does she have blue eyes?
I think Coulter? Daniel Craig was Lee Scoresby.
Oh, that's right.
I think. Or maybe he was Lord Asriel. He might have been.
I think he's Lord Asriel.
Yeah, he was one of the two.
I love his new Belvedere, the vodka commercial where he's dancing.
Well, we're not going to talk about it here because we're not sponsored.
I'm sorry. He's just so cool, though.
Sponsor us, and then Brittany will talk about it.
All right, FM Aries. I have not read the book. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I just said welcome back because he's commented.
Oh yeah, I remember reading Aries. I think during Primal. Anyways,
yeah.
FM Aries. I have not read the books, and it felt like the first 2 seasons kind of dragged on. So far, season 3 is really good, as a really good pace and plot movement. Enjoying it.
It happens when you have to cram it happens when you have to cram stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you really have to cram stuff in. And I think they do a good job too. Cause like, I feel like we get a lot of stuff within the episode. Like Mrs. Coulter will be at the base and then she's gone by the end of the episode. And then she's at like the church's base kind of thing. So it's like, she got like 2 complete like story arcs. And it wasn't like, if it's really drawn out like Game of Thrones, she would have been stuck at Lord Asriel thing, drinking wine with Tyrion, talking about how to kill angels. Like, it was like...
Gosh.
So I think because there's so much, it's gonna help with that. It's not stretching out the content. Like for example, Rings of Power just felt like it was stretched. Like they didn't have any good material, so they were just really trying to stretch
story.
Stuff. But there's so much story. It's condensed.
How long are the books?
The books, I mean, I think if you read them, I think they're like 14 hours kind of thing. So I don't know how.
Oh, you see it by the hours.
Yeah, I'm trying to. The most recent way I've been going through this is with the audiobooks, like while I'm driving and stuff. So the hours are more than chapters in my head, kind of thing.
You know, like a thickness.
They're probably like the medium-sized Harry Potter books.
Okay.
Not like the big ones, not like Half-Blood Prince and stuff. Those things are like Bible size.
Vash Stampede?
Good try. I have no idea how to pronounce it.
Vashtapadi? Yo, why did the knife break?
Yeah, Mrs. Coulter got into Will's head, and it was explained in this episode too. Like with York, I think it was. It's like your mind has to be focused. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can't be split.
The idea of doubting yourself, I think, is what she was getting at.
Yeah, and she did, compared to the books, like the books, they get into the whole thing like with his mom and stuff, but that scene was so much better than in the books. In the show, the way Mrs. Coulter was like hitting him with the mother stuff, like it was not that intense in the books, and love it. I love that scene.
That was pretty intense. Okay, oh my God, I keep scrolling all the way. Okay, we're making some headways. Okay. J.O. Towner. Just as an artist who has done character designs and visual development for feature films, Having a beetle daemon and a beetle fly or spy fly would be too confusing visually. In occult practices and heraldry, spiders represent builders and makers of complex plans. They're patient and very focused on long-term goals. Salamanders are associated with the element of fire and often represent detoxification and renewal through destruction. Take from that you will.
That's
it's kind of
really
like the
cool.
phoenix thing with salamanders. It's interesting.
Yeah. No, it's really cool because it almost relates to their characters too. And I guess it makes sense because they ended up using the beetle. The beetle wasn't supposed to be there to track Lyra. So, but I guess they have to make a compromise, and that does totally make sense. Thank you so much. That actually really helpful.
Okay. Lunar Ray Missy? I was not digging any of this. Oh, hey.
Opinions.
I feel like they are changing too much that takes away from the themes of the book. Yeah. They are treating the audience like we're stupid and need to be spoon-fed because we can't think for ourselves. Like angels in physical form, one of the reasons why they envy humans' abilities, they found Will only because they followed his father, and once he died, after the scenes they appeared to guide him. I always thought Mrs. Coulter needs to be more subtle, and when Will talks to her, he's supposed to be more cunning, showing how he's good at not gaining attention and blending into the crowd with an angel turning into a daemon. As for the priest, I always felt like reading his character, like there was an indoctrinated man. He drank the Kool-Aid and built credit up on one of his sins he will commit for the church. He also is a complex character. So the whole thing was quite sad.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. There is a lot of context we are not getting when it comes to the subtext of meaning and stuff like that, and it happens with everything. Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, you name a book, you don't get in detail of like what the characters are. I mean, Lord of the Rings did a really good freaking job.
I thought that was super interesting about Miss Coulter and that scene, because I haven't read the book, so didn't hear that. It's like, oh, that's interesting that she because it seems so well played from not knowing the book and watching the scene.
Yeah. And it's one of those things too. Obviously book readers will notice this.
Right.
But that's why it's great having you here too, because you don't know what's happening with the book. So it's good to get both sides. Book readers, I don't know if we'll ever be fully satisfied with everything that's left out, but like we have to be just happy that they even made it to the third book. Because the farthest we've ever gotten was just the first book, which has been the Goldest Compass. So it's been cool. I mean, it's even cool to even see characters like Balthamos. And yes, we didn't get all the Gallivespians we're supposed to get. We did get one of them. Did they have dragonflies? No, but you can get our shirt and they'll have dragonflies.
I think they made it further than the Disney Narnia collection with their stories.
Please, Disney. Oh, Disney.
Yeah, the BBC was way better.
By the way, check out our BBC Best Narnia series review. We covered the show from the 1980s. Oh, it's so good.
So good. For those that grew up watching it. Felipe, all the way from Brazil.
Yay, welcome.
Watching your analysis of season 3. Very helpful to remember the details from the book versus the show.
Yeah, I do my best. I'm not 100%. I probably mess up from time to time, but and there's a lot of things that I am leaving out of context. Feel free to always put them in the comments down below too, guys, if I ever miss anything, because I'm definitely going to miss stuff.
Okay. Igor, the writing and adaptation are so bad. I don't understand how the show is able to finish production.
I just think they have to at this point. I mean, they were probably through enough
James
money.
McAvoy is involved. So.
We must finish because James is involved. Come on, everyone. You got to know this.
But he's too big of a name. That would not happen.
Yeah. And, I think it was them just taking a chance on another fantasy series because they took a chance on Game of Thrones and it paid off. And now look at them. They're having like 4 Game of Thrones
and Westworld shows. And stuff.
Well, that's
too,
more
which is a little
sci-fi, right? Or this is more on the fantasy side. I would say it's more on fantasy, but
for sure
we'll see. Because I know HBO or Warner Brothers, they announced they were like, don't forget, we still own the rights to Lord of the Rings, so we might have some kind of Lord of the Rings thing to compete against Amazon Prime. You never know. There's also rumors too of the Harry Potter show too that they're going to be doing. They're doing a whole series. So
wow. Yeah, I was kind of surprised even watching HBO. Like they have a new show coming out almost every other day. Like Sunday was the White Lotus that fell into his Dark Materials, and then there was like Sex Lives, and then there's also the White, not the White, what comes out, Gossip Girl. Like they have like 4 or 5 shows that came out during 1 week.
Well, especially right now because it's like the holidays.
Oh,
yeah. So it's like, you know, more time to watch. That's why like people are releasing stuff right now too.
Yeah, White Lotus was killer. Studio Room. Yeah, they have taken shortcuts. Too many shortcuts. Read the books. Okay.
Amazon, go to Audible. You can get the audiobook if you don't like reading, but I highly recommend it. Go read the books, enjoy it. There's so much wealth of content. And if you like Harry Potter, a lot of these books inspired Harry Potter. When it came to the specters, that's your dementors basically. They have a witch named Rutascati and they have in Harry Potter there's a witch named Rutascuti, and she does like the you know, so there's like a lot of like connections to stuff like that. And think about your demon as your Patronus almost, and it's like, you know, like an animal. So like obviously everyone takes from everywhere, but you can just tell a lot. But if you like Harry Potter, you might like this book.
Have you thought about what you would pick for your Daemon?
Well, I think you can go on. I know my Patronus in Harry Potter was a dolphin.
No.
I don't know.
Well, I guess water.
It was
for
a
you.
Dolphin. I wouldn't want a dolphin as a demon, though, because I would be literally stuck on a boat.
And then it would try to have sex with you. Because that's what dolphins do.
You heard it here first, everyone.
That's another HBO show. That's pretty funny.
The Secret Lives of Dolphins?
No, Made for Love. There's a dolphin that they can read its mind, and it has a speaker. And so it starts to fall in love with one of the characters, and the human's like trying to get information out of it. But it's like, only if you go on a date with me. It's pretty funny. I really like HBO, if you can't tell.
We do here. We watch a lot of HBO Max.
Justin G. I've never read the book, so I'm not sure what happens. But the second she left Pan, I ran to the internet. How could she? LMAO.
Right? I know.
Everyone, like, I was screaming. Like, what the heck is wrong with this child?
So I don't want to spoil too much on why she has to go to the land of the dead, but obviously there has to be a reason. There has to be a reason why Frodo and Sam walked to Mordor. Like, there's a reason for everything, right? So
yeah, but they're not like dicks about it.
Well, I mean, he was go home, Sam. I don't know. That was pretty much the same thing to me. Wasn't it? Actually, now that I think about it, it was even worse because he made him climb down the stairs and then climb back up the stairs.
Yeah, Frodo's kind of dickish too.
Yeah, Sam's the best. Everyone knows this.
I feel like Harry Potter cares the most about his friends. Because he doesn't like he's not as driven and won't like hurt as many people as like Lyra will.
Yeah, I guess. Well, then again, like it's also a little different too, right? So like Lyra, I mean, I guess they're both orphans. I mean, it happens. I guess they're both orphans.
Lyra's not an orphan.
Well, I mean, she thought she was.
Oh, yeah. So like, she's an orphan mentality.
That's why she grew up, and then she learned that her Mrs. Coulter's her mom after her mom abused her, basically. Yeah. Remember, like that whole fight scene and all. So yeah, her life's pretty messed up too. All of our main characters' lives are messed up. Luke, Frodo, everyone.
That's the anti-hero thing. Batman.
Oh, poor Batman.
Oh. Be a dragon. Question. Is Seraphina, is that how you say it? Seraphina P.
Seraphina Peccola.
Okay, Seraphina.
That's her full name.
Peccola. Still in the story for season 3. Just found your channel, so I apologize if you've already covered this. Thanks.
No, actually, we haven't, and this is really interesting because she's such a big part of book 1 and 2. You know what I mean? Like Lyra finds her such a friend. They help them escape the Dolvanga or whatever that the laboratory was.
Oh, okay.
So in the books, when Lee dies, just to recap, remember how Lee dies when he holds off the army, right? And because he calls her, and that's why she leaves, and that's why Lyra gets taken by Mrs. Coulter because she's not there to protect her. And then she goes to Lee. So in the books, right away she sees Lee's dead, and she goes and finds York. To tell York what has happened. So at the beginning of book 3, she kind of fills York in and like, this is what happened. Your friend died. And then she put a spell on his body to preserve his body so Yorick can go find him in the other world. Then Yorick eats him because that's like a way of honoring like your friends. And he's going to avenge him by doing whatever he can to save the two people he loves now left in the world, which is Seraphina and Lyra. So at this point in the books, she does have a little bit of what's going on, but it's kind of like she's looking to get an army together to go help Lord Asriel. That's like, maybe we'll get a follow-up. She's in the trailers, so we're going to see her eventually, but she has a major-ish role to play at the end.
Without a spoiler.
Well, people want to know where she's at.
Rev Theory Fox 5. Didn't want to spoil it. Oh, I didn't want to spoil it for me. I have read the books, but it's been a while. It's something you didn't mention, at least in this video. When Will is trying to cut into the land of the dead, he meets a world where the knife doesn't want to go or can't go. It seemed important.
Yeah. So right after the knife gets fixed in the books, he goes to cut, right? And he literally starts to think of his mom. So he's undecided, and the knife almost snaps again. After Yorick's gone. Like, it would have been a big disaster.
Awesome.
But literally, like, they talk about it in the book, like, when they actually go to the land of the dead. And I expounded on this a little bit in the last episode, but it's like a process. They cut to a world. And it's like it's like the last thing on the thing. He cuts into it. And then they're in this world where there's like people dead and horses dead. And like, what's going on here? It's like a battle scene almost. And then they see like people coming. So they're trying to escape. And then he's cutting, and he feels like he's cutting through something thick. Like, it actually feels like cloth compared to when he cuts normally. And then when he cuts, it's the same world he cuts into. So they're like really confused. And it's like hard to get through this world. Like, it really takes like a lot of effort to get through the hole and everything. And then they realize they're in the same exact world which they were in, but now it's all ghosts. Like, the guy that they saw dead is now alive, and he's freaking out. He's like, where am I? And it's like this whole thing where this journey of how people get to the land of the dead. It's really cool in the book. I did not do it justice here at all, but
not to be confused with the Paths of the Dead.
Well, I know. And then you also have the suburb of the dead too in the show. It's where you wait until you die to actually get on a boat. Yes, there's so much in this book. It's so good. And also, what's really cool about the book too, before every chapter, he quotes some of his favorite passages, if it's from the Bible or other books and stuff like that. And it's really cool. I really like, because it gets you ready for the chapter and what's to come. But
gosh, there's always so much to read and so much to watch.
Yeah, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah, I was just given Charlie Chaplin's autobiography, so I'm finishing a book right now, and then that's the next one I was going. But that book's like thick. Yeah. Okay, but anyways, Greg Christian, episode 4 is my favorite so far. Wasn't really a fan of episode 1 or 2, but I think 4 got it back on track.
Yeah,
the ending was tough. Hated that in the book too. Thanks for the breakdown.
Yeah, nice. They did a decent job with the knife, because it's like part of that thing where Will has to also like will it together again too and stuff. I mean, they cut away so we couldn't see Yorick actually hit it with the hammer and stuff like that, like you hear in the books, which is fine. It's a great way. Like, remember in the Hobbit book, the Battle of the Five Armies? It's like the battle starts, everything happens, and then Bilbo gets knocked out, and then like he wakes up at the end of the battle. Yeah. Like, he cuts the battle. And at the time, it's because, J.R.R. didn't want kids to be excited about war and stuff like that. So he cut it out. But that's kind of what we got with the knife. It's like, oh, cool, we're going to see the bear actually use oh no, he fainted. It's like, oh no, and now he's awake and we missed everything. But
Will's a fainter. He's very emotional.
And it did remind me of when Order of the Phoenix, when Harry gets like, when Baltimore gets in Harry's mind, he's like, and then like they show like random cuts to like flashbacks and stuff like that. But it's a Horcrux.
I forgot to tell you, I did finally watch the Fantastical Beast.
Oh, you did? I
forgot to tell you. I did watch it.
The newest one with Dumbledore?
Yeah, the newest one. Mm-hmm.
With that like deer, the deer animal that bows or whatever.
Yeah. We could talk about
I think they canceled the Fantastic Beast movies.
Yeah. Yeah, we could talk about it later, but I forgot to tell you my opinion. Then I was like, oh, I forgot to tell Nick I watched it. All right, Adam Martre, on Mufula. I want to say
Mulefa.
Mulefa every time. Okay, simply as a creature designed, remove from any influence from the book. I think they look pretty cool. Having read the books, there's obviously some disappointment in how they're being visualized, but it's always going to be the hardest part of the book to visualize, and given the budget that the shows seem to have a diamond-shaped backbone/limbs, were likely not possible. And based on the preview for next week, they do seem to use the sea pods as wheels in some capacity. I just hope they get a decent amount of screen time in the next couple of episodes so they can delve into the society a bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because like literally half the book is Mary Malone dealing with the mulefa. Like whenever they cut to like another character, you know, it's always her with the mulefa. Most of the time, obviously, we go to Lord Asriel and stuff like that. But like a big portion of it is Mary Malone with the mulefa and like them learning how to talk, because they'll be like mulefa, like because they're like learning how to speak English. They're like Mary. It's like really fun because they're like learning this language, but they're very visual with their languages, with trunks and stuff and signals.
Oh, cute.
So it's like this whole like learning, and so, you know, they're a huge part. They couldn't leave them out, and what we're getting is what we got. Obviously, it's not like they're gonna revamp the show at all, but I'm happy that they're doing it, and I'm happy that we're getting an end to the story too. It's not just cut off like other shows have been in the past and stuff. Raised by Wolves, #save Raised by Wolves. We got to get on a platform to get it.
But I feel like Westworld pretty much ended.
Yeah, Westworld was done after the first season.
They could have made it into a movie if they wanted and just done a film.
Well, I mean, the first season was fantastic. That's probably one of my favorite seasons of television. The first season.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for your comments. Now, really quick, Britt, are you enjoying the show?
Yeah, I'm just in shock. I didn't know there was only 3 until I heard the word trilogy and that it was ending. I was like, oh wait, but I just kind of started getting into this. Yeah. Oh.
Brittany is definitely filling in for Kyle right now. Our
guys.
Resident expert. He's very busy right now, and I promise you guys tons of stuff from Kyle, which is not going to happen this week, but it will happen next week because I'm going to make sure he sticks to his promises. No, but I mean, it's just so much fun going through the show. Leave your comments down below. It's going to end really quickly. I think there's only 2 more weeks of it because they're releasing 2 episodes a week. Yeah. So it should be done.
Why are they doing that?
Just to probably finish it by the holidays, you know, just get all the views.
You told me that there was 2 of them. I was like, wait, why?
Yep, they're just letting it go at this point. I don't know if it's the new management and they're like, hey, if this show's done, just push it out, because they know since HBO has new management, or Warner Brothers, who owns HBO, I think they're just trying to revamp everything and just start from scratch. So
but we will see. What's the next one coming up? The Left of Us, or the what's his name? From Narcos and the Viper. I like him. Why can't I remember his name right now?
The Last of Us.
Yes. I follow his Instagram, but yeah, that one's next for HBO, right?
Yeah.
And that's January?
Yeah, then that's based off the game. So yeah, that's coming out in January. So maybe we'll cover that here. I know John's played the game. I don't know if any other people, if I can get someone who's played the game. I've only watched the game. I didn't really play it. I just kind of watched it on YouTube. Someone else play it. I don't have a PS5 awesome. Or 4 or whatever it was on. So I have a Switch.
Has Chris played it?
Chris should have. It's a really good game. Yeah. So.
I put the Switch up on display.
Do you want to grab your demon when we sign off behind you?
Say bye.
Follow Britt on Instagram, cha.cha.cherry. She's super talented artist and she is into wacky stuff. Go follow her. You guys can see everything she's into. I'm not going to tell you everything. You guys got to go check it out. And then subscribe to AsArt. Go to asart.space for audio, video links, and to get cool shirts that Kyle designs. And we're working on more designs too. We just want to fill it up with nerdiness. And we'll see you on the next AsArt. Stay on.
He's like, what is this? This would not be my demon. He's not my soul. We are not alike.
I don't know. Do you want me to spoil what